what John Merrick, the Elephant Man, looked like, and what he was were two different things. Perhaps it is naive of me to expect the general public to comprehend this mystery. After all, who does not secretly relish the shock of the abnormal? The biggest, the ugliest, the most bizarre? But what about a face and physique beyond rational explanation? The unimaginable head, its pungent growth like tusks. The mouth, gaping and swollen. One eye nearly obliterated by masses of flesh. A lump, recognizable to a very few as a human nose. The arms, one shaped like that of any man's, the other monstrously misshapen, twisted, blown out of all proportion. The hand on the deformed arm, a mere flipper, a piece of flesh. Fingers and thumb welded together by a cruel whim of nature, intertwined, withered, helpless. And what about the body as a whole? The affliction of the joints which reduced it to the spraddling stature of a hunchback. I met him twice. I knew of him for 2 years. I knew him for another 4. The second meeting changed both our lives. Physicians, they say, are supposed to be impartial. But the Elephant Man represented the most significant episode in my professional life. I came to see him differently from others. Somehow, they saw only the surface and shrank from looking deeper.
Your new lecture on anatomy.
Age 31, books on scrofula and applied surgical anatomy. I'm very happy to see you rising, Mr. Treves. I'd like to see merit credited in your industry, accomplishment, and skill all do you credit. Ignore the squalor of Whitechapel, the general dinginess, neglected poverty without, and you will find continual mental richness in the London hospital. We study and treat the widest ranges of diseases and certainly are the greatest institution of our kind in the world. The Empire provides unparalleled opportunities for our studies, as places cruel to life are the most revealing scientifically. Add to our reputation by going further, and that is satisfied. You bought a house?
On Wimpole Street.
Good. Keep at it, Treves. You'll have 100 guinea fees before you're 40. You'll find it an excellent consolation prize.
Consolation? I don't understand what you mean.
I know you don't. You will.
Happy childhood in Dorset. A scientist in an age of science. In an English age, an Englishman. A teacher and a doctor at the London. 2 books published by my 31st year. A house, a wife who loves me. And my God, 100 guinea fees before I'm 40. Consolation for what? As of the year of our Lord, 1884, I, Freddie Treves, have excessive blessings. Or so it seems to me.
dare to gape in yawp at this freak of nature, the elephant man. See Mother Nature, uncosted and in malignant rage. Tuppence.
This sign is absurd. Half elephant, half man is not possible. Is he foreign?
Right from Leicester, but not in the fear.
I'm at the London across the road. I would very much like to see him if there is some real disorder. If he is a mass of papier-mâché and paint, however.
Then pay me not. Enter, sir. Man! Stand up! You bloody donkey! Up! Up!
I must examine him further at the hospital. I'm Treves. Here is my card. I will send a cab to pick him up and return him. My card will gain him admittance.
Fine ball is yours for the day.
I wish to examine him in the interest of science, you see.
Sir, I'm lost. I look out there. Get him his living. I found him in Leicester Workhouse. His own ma put him there age of 3. Couldn't bear the sight of him. Well, you can see why. He and I, are in business together. Here's our capital, see? Go to a bank. Go anywhere. You want to borrow capital? You pay interest. Scientist even. He's good value though. You won't find another like him.
Fair enough.
Right. Out here! Merc, you bloody donkey! Out! Out!
Fish! Flowers! Fresh fish! Flowers! Fish! Flowers! Fresh fish! Flowers!
What's all pretty evident for us today?
I don't know. I believe he's trying to classify
The most striking feature about him was his enormous head. Its circumference was about that of a man's waist. From the brow, there protruded a huge bony mass below. From the back of the head hung a bag of flesh, spongy, fungus-looking flesh, the surface of which was comparable to brown cauliflower. On the top of the skull were a few long, lank hairs. The osseous deformities on the forehead, at this stage about the size of a tangerine, almost occluded one eye. From the upper jaw there projected another mass of bone. It protruded from the mouth like a pink stump, turning the upper lip inside out, and making the mouth a wide, slobbering aperture. The nose was merely a lump of flesh, only recognizable as a nose from its position. The deformities rendered the face utterly incapable of the expression of any emotion whatsoever. The back was horrible, because from it hung as far down as the middle of the thigh, huge masses of flesh, covered with the same loathsome cauliflower stain. The right arm was of enormous size. It suggested what was not elephantiasis, was covered with pitted masses of the same cauliflower-like skin. The right hand was large and clumsy, a fin or paddle rather than a hand. There was no distinction between the palm and back. The thumb was a radish, the fingers thick tuberous roots. As a limb, it was useless. The other arm was remarkable by contrast. It was not only normal, but was moreover a delicately shaped limb, covered with a fine skin, and provided a beautiful hand, which any woman might have envied. From the chest hung masses of the same loathsome skin. It was like a dewlap suspended from the neck of a lizard. The lower limbs had the characteristics of the deformed arms. They were unwieldy, dropsical looking, and grossly misshapen. There arose from the fungus skin growth a very sickening stench, which is hard to tolerate. To add a further burden to his trouble, the wretched man went a boy who had hip disease, which has been permanently lame, so that he could only walk with his stick. Please. He was thus denied all means of escape from his torment. Mr.
You have shown a profound and unknown disorder to us. You said when he leaves here, it is for his exhibition again. I do not think it ought to be permitted. It is a disgrace. It is a pity and a disgrace. It is an indecency in fact. It may be a danger in ways we do not know. Something ought to be done about it.
I am a doctor. What would you have me do?
When I know what to do, I know who's right.
Now, my peanutted darlings, your attention, please. Every freak in the Brussels Fair is doing something to celebrate Leopold's 5th year as King of the Congo. Him, our king, our empire.
Our lives are
Oh, don't recite it yet, you morons. I'll tell you when. And when you do, you had better get it right. If you don't, it's back to the asylum. Ah, you know what that means, don't you? Yeah, they'll cut your head. Yeah, they'll spoon out your little brains. Replace them in the dachshunds they were meat from. Cut you! I'll be back with the customer. Come, see the queens of the Congo.
Congo, land of darkness. Ah, look at them, lad. It's freer on the continent. Loads of indecency here. No one minds. You won't get coppers sent round to rust you out off London. I reckon in Brussels, here's our fortune. You have a little tete-a-tete with this lot. While I see the coppers about our license to exhibit. Be right back.
Come from England.
Hello.
At home, they chased us out of London. Police. Someone complained. They beat me. You have no trouble, no?
I
Belgium, we make money. I look forward to it. Oh, happiness, I mean. You pay your police. How is it done? We do a show together sometime, yes. I have saved 48 pounds, 9 shillings, tuppence. English money. Ross takes care of it. Little vocabulary problem, eh? Poor things. Looks like they put your noses to the grindstone and forgot to take them away.
Quick, set it up! Set it up, take up! Come on! Oh, yes. Please.
We are the queens of the Congo, the beautiful Belgian Empire. Our natives are bigger, our miners are finer. Empire, empire, Congo in power. The symbol of Zeus is fine as our empire.
Fire! Sorry about that, folks. Look, she's just not quite ready yet. She just gives him one more chance. Do it! Idiot! You know what? Don't cry, girls. You sang nicely. Don't cry.
Oh, we promised the permit. I already tore up on that.
This is a brutal, indecent, and immoral display. It is a public indecency, and it is forbidden here.
But what about them with their perfect cone heads?
They are ours.
Competition's good for business. Where's your spirit of competition?
Right here.
Don't do that, you'll kill him.
Be better off dead, Jesus Christ.
Don't cry, girls. It doesn't hurt.
I've decided. I'm sending you back, lad. You're a flop. No, you're a liability. You ain't the money maker I figured, so that's it.
Oh, no.
Here's a few bottles. Have a whiskey. I'm keeping the rest for my trouble. I deserve it, I reckon. Invested enough with you. Pick up your stinker for stick around. Stink of failure. Stink of lost years. Just stinks.
Where's the one?
Just see him to Liverpool Street Station safe, will you? Here's for your trouble.
What'd she say?
Just make sounds. Fella's an imbecile. Oh, boy, old Johnny. His name's Johnny. He knows his name. That's all, Bill.
Don't follow him, Johnny. No, conductor find Johnny a place out of sight. Come on, Johnny. Now don't struggle, Johnny.
Liverpool Street Station.
Where's David there? I barred the door.
He wanted to rip him to pieces. I've never seen anything like it. It's like being caught in that thing cartoon.
Got somewhere to go in London. I can't stay here.
Oh, you don't understand? He's an imbecile. Exactly.
Not any money.
What's that?
Just makes sounds. Frightened sounds is all he makes. Go through his coat.
Don't let me go through your coat. I'll turn you over to that lot. I was joking. Don't upset yourself.
Joke.
Sure, crib. Got a card here. You Johnny Merrick? What's this old card here, Johnny? Someone give you a card?
What's it say?
It says, Mr. Frederick Treves, lecturer in anatomy, London Hospital.
Oh, the London. I'll go see if I can find it. It's not far.
What's he do? Lecture you on your anatomy? People who think right don't look like that then, do they? Yeah, glung. Sure, trees.
What is going on here? Look at that mob. Have you no sense of decency? I'm Frederick Treves. This is my car.
This poor wretch here had it.
Good Lord. Merrick? John Merrick, what has happened to you? You are a Miss Sandwich.
Yes, sandwich.
You have had missionary experience in the Niger.
And Ceylon.
I may assume then that you've seen
The tropics? No. Those diseases. The men in the office scourges are Lord sins. Yes, sir.
I need the help of an experienced nurse, you see.
Someone to bring you food, take care of the room. Yes, I understand. But it is somehow difficult.
Well, I have been let down so far. He really is, that is, the other sisters. Well, it is not part of their job, and they will not do it. Be ordinarily kind to Merrick without, well, panicking. He is quite beyond ugly. You understand that? His appearance has terrified him.
The photographs show a terrible disease.
It is a disorder, not a disease. It is in no way contagious, though we don't in fact know what it is. I have found, however, there is a deep superstition in those I've tried. They actually believe that he brought it on himself, this thing, when of course it is really not that at all.
I am not one who believes it is ourselves who attain grace or bring chastisement to us, sir.
Miss Sandwich, I am hoping not.
Let me put your mind to rest. Care for the lepers in the east, and you have care, Mr. Treves. In Africa, I have seen dreadful scourges, quite unknown to our more civilized climes. What at home could be worse than a miserable and afflicted rocky savage?
Yes, I imagine.
Appearances do not daunt me.
It is really that has set me outside the confines of the London seeking help.
I look unto the hills whence cometh my help. I understand. I think I will be satisfactory.
His Lordship.
Perhaps you will accompany me this time. I will introduce you.
Allow me to carry the tray.
No, I will this time. You are ready?
I am.
He is bathing to be rid of his odor. John, this is Miss Sandwich.
I am very pleased. Oh my good God in heaven!
I am sorry.
Thank you for saving my lunch this time.
Excuse me. You have let me down, you know. warn you, and still you let me down.
You didn't say.
But
Didn't. You said just words.
But the photographs.
Just pictures. No one would do this. I'm sorry.
Yes, well, this is not helping him.
With what fortitude he bears his cross. It is remarkable. He has made the acquaintance of religion and knows sections of the Bible by heart. Once I grasped his speech became clear, he certainly had religious instruction at one time.
I believe it was in the workhouse, Dr. Howe.
They are awfully good about that sometimes. The Psalms he loves, and the book of Job perplexes him, for he says that he cannot see that a just God must cause suffering, as he puts it, merely that to be merciful. Yet that Christ will save him he does not doubt, so he is not resentful.
Christ had better. Be damned if we can.
In any case, Dr. Treves, he has religious nature. Further instruction would uplift him, and I'd be pleased to provide it. I plan to speak to him from the pulpit this week.
I see our visiting bather has flushed the dizzy Bishop Howe from his cruciform layer.
Speak with man, sir. I have spoken to him of mercy and justice. There's a true Christian in the run.
This makes my news seem banal, yet Frederick, response to my letter to the Times about America has been staggering. The English public has been so generous that he may be sponsored for life without a penny spent from hospital funds.
But that is excellent!
God bless the English public!
Especially for not dismembering him at Liverpool Street Station. Freddie, the London's now home for incurables. This is quite irregular, but for you, I permit it. Though God knows what you'll do.
God does know, sir, and Darwin does not.
He'd better, sir. He deformed him.
I had apprehensions coming here. I find it most fortunate America's in the hands of Dr. Treves, a Christian, sir.
Freddie is a good man and a brilliant doctor, and that is fortunate indeed.
I could not have raised the funds, though, Doctor.
Don't let me keep you any longer from your duties, Mr. Treves. Yet, Mr. Gong, consider. Is it science, sir, that motivates us when we transport English rule of law to India or Ireland? When good British churchmen leave hearth and home for missionary hardship in Africa, is it science that bears them away? Sir, it is not. It is Christian duty. It is the obligation to bring our life and benefits to benighted men. That motivates us, even as it motivates Trees towards marriage, to bring salvation where none is. Gordon was a Christian, sir, and died a call to avoid, not for science, sir.
You're telling me not for science.
Mr. Treves, I'll visit Merrick weekly if I may.
You will be welcome, sir. I am certain.
Then good day, sirs.
Well, Jesus, my boy. Now that we have the money, what do you plan to do for Merrick?
Normality. As far as is possible.
So he will be like us? Ah.
Is something wrong, Mr. Gong, with us?
long as I like.
You may stay for life. The funds exist.
Been reading this about homes for the blind. Wouldn't mind going to one when I have to move.
But you do not have to move. And you're not blind.
I would prefer it when no one stared at me.
No one will bother you here.
Certainly not. I've given instructions.
What did I tell you? God almighty! Oh, Mr. Jake, Mr. Gong.
What is going on here? You were told not to do this. I don't understand. You must not lurk about.
Yes, sir.
It is infuriating. When you are told a thing, you must listen. I won't have you gaping in on my patients. Kindly remember.
Isn't a patient, sir, is he?
Do not let me find you here
I
again.
didn't know you were here, sir. We'll be on.
No, Will. Mr. Treves was precisely saying that no one would intrude when you intruded.
But sir.
He is warned now. Merrick does not like it.
He was warned before. On what penalty, Will?
That you'd sack me, sir.
You are sacked, Will. You, his friend who work here?
Just stole last week, sir.
Well, I hope the point is taken now.
Mr. Gong, I am truly sacked, am I?
Yes, Will. Truly sacked. You'll never be more truly sacked.
It's not me. My wife ain't well. My sister's got to take care of our kids and of her. Well,
Think of them first next time.
it ain't as if I interfered with his medicine.
That is exactly what it is. You may go.
Just keeping him here to look at in private, that's all. Isn't it?
There are priorities, Frederick. The first is discipline. Smooth as the passage to the tight ship's master. Merrick, you are safe from prying now.
Have we nothing to say, John?
Oh, if all that stared at me had been sacked, there'd be whole towns out of work.
I meant thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
We always do say please and thank you, don't we?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
If we want to properly be like others,
Yes, sir. I want to.
then it is for our own good, is it not?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Gong.
Sir, you are welcome.
You are happy here, are you not, John?
Yes.
And the birds have rid you of your odor, have they not?
The first chance I had to be the regular. Oh, Lee.
And 3 meals a day delivered to your room.
Yes, sir.
This is your promised land, is it not, John? A roof, food, protection, care, is it not?
Right, Mr. Treves.
I will bet you do not know what to call this.
No, sir. I don't know.
You call it home.
Never had a home before.
Well, you have one now, John. Say it. Home.
Home.
No. Really say it. I have a home. This is mine. Go on.
I have a home. This is my home. This is my home. I have a home as long as I like.
It is what home is.
That is what is home.
If I abide by the rules, I will be happy.
Yes, sir.
Don't be shy.
Well, if I abide by the rules, I will be happy.
Very good. Why?
Why, what?
Will you be happy?
Because it is my home.
No. Why do rules make us happy?
I don't know.
Of course you do.
No, I really don't.
Why does anything make us happy?
Like what? Like what?
Don't get upset. Rules make us happy Because they are for our own good.
Okay.
Don't be shy, John. You can say it.
This is my home.
No. About rules making us happy.
They make us happy because they are for our own good.
Excellent. Now, I am submitting a follow-up paper on you to the London Pathological Society. It would help if you told me what you recall of your early years, to fill in gaps.
To fill in gaps. The workhouse where they sent me. They beat you there like a drum. Boom, boom. Scrape the floor white. Shine the pan. Boom, boom. It never ends. The floor is always dirty. And that pan was always tarnished. There is nothing you can do about it. You are always attacked anyway. Oh. Oh. Will the children go to the workhouse?
What children?
The children the man is sacked.
Of necessity. Will find other employment. You don't want crowds staring at you, do you?
No.
In your home, you don't have to have crowds staring at you. Or anyone, do you? In your home.
No.
Then Mr. Gone was merciful. You yourself approve. Is it not so? Well, is it not so?
If your mercy is so cruel, what do you have for justice?
I am sorry. That is just the way things are.
Boom, 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 boom.
You have seen photographs of Merrick, Mrs. Kendall. You are acquainted with his appearance.
He reminds me of an audience I played Cleopatra for in Brighton once. All huge head and grimace and utterly unable to laugh.
Well, my aim is to lead him to as normal a life as possible. His terror of us all comes from being held at arm's length from society. I am determined that shall end. For example, he loves to meet with people and converse. I am determined he shall. For example, he had never seen the inside of a real home before. I had him to mine, and what a reward, Mrs. Kendall. His astonishment, his joy at the most ordinary things. Most critical, I feel, however, are women. I will explain. They have always shown the greatest fear and loathing of him. He adores them, of course.
He is intelligent.
Well, I am convinced they are the key to retrieving him from his exclusion. Though I must warn you, women are not quite real to him. More creatures of his imagination.
Then he is already like other men, Mr. Trees.
So, I thought an actress could help. Because, unlike most women, you are trained to hide your true feelings and assume others.
You mean, unlike most women, I am famous for it. That is really all.
Yes. In any case, if you could enter the room and smile and wish him good morning, and when you leave, shake his hand. The left one is usable and really quite beautiful, and say, I am very pleased to have made your acquaintance, Mr. Merrick.
Shall we try? Left hand out, please. I am very pleased to have made your acquaintance, Mr. Merrick. I am very pleased to have made your acquaintance, Mr. Merrick. I am very pleased to have made your acquaintance, Mr. Merrick. I am very pleased to have made your acquaintance, Mr. Merrick. Yes, that one.
My God, they are all splendid. Merrick will be so pleased. It will be the day he becomes a man like other men.
Speaking of that, Mr. Trees.
Frederick, please.
Freddie, may I commit an indiscretion?
Yes.
Well, I could not help but noticing that from the photographs of the unafflicted parts, how shall I put it?
Oh, I see. I quite understand. No, it is quite normal.
I thought as much.
Medically speaking, the papillomatous extrusions which disfigure him correspond quite regularly to the osseous growths. Excuse me. There is a direct link between the bone disorder and the skin growths. Though, for the life of me, I haven't discovered what it is or why it is. But in any case, this part would therefore be unlikely to be afflicted because, well, there's no bone in it.
Oh.
None in it. None at all.
Well, learn a little every day, don't we?
I am horribly embarrassed.
Are you? Then he must be lonely indeed.
Well, shall we? He is making sketches of St. Philip's Church. He wants somebody to make a model, you see. John, this is Mrs. Kendall. She would very much like to make your acquaintance.
Good morning, Mr. Merrick.
I must see to a few things. I will return shortly.
I planned so many things to say. I forget them. You are so beautiful.
Good morning, Mr. Merrick.
Well, really, that was what I planned to say, and I forgot.
Slowly.
That I forgot what I planned to say. I couldn't think of anything else. I was so excited.
Real charm is always planned, don't you think?
Well, I do not know why I look like this, Mrs. Kendall. My mother was so beautiful. She was knocked down by an elephant in a circus while she was pregnant. Something must have happened, don't you think?
It may well have.
It may well have. But sometimes I think my head is so big because it is so full of dreams. Because it is. Do you know what happens when dreams cannot get out?
Why, no.
I don't either. Something must. Well, you are a famous actress.
I am not unknown.
You must display yourself for your living then, like I did.
That is not myself, Mr. Merrick. That is an illusion. This is myself.
This is myself, too.
So, Frederick says you like to read books.
I am reading Romeo and Juliet now.
Ah, Juliet, a love story. I adore love stories.
I like love stories best, too. If I had been Romeo, guess what?
What?
I would not have held the mirror to her breast.
You mean the scene where Juliet appears to be dead, and Romeo holds the mirror to her breath and sees
Nothing. How does it feel when he kills himself because he just sees nothing?
Well, my experience as Juliet has been particularly with an actor I will not name. And while I'm laying there dead, and he is lamenting excessively, I get to thinking that if this slab of ham is not to pop from the hammock of his life too soon, I'm going to scream, pop up the tomb, and plunge a dagger into his scene-stealing heart. Romeos are very undependable.
Because he does not care for Juliet.
Not care?
Does he get a doctor? Does he take her pulse? Does he make sure? No. He kills himself. The illusion fools him because he does not care for her. He only cares for himself. If I had been Romeo, Mrs. Kendall, we would have got away.
But then there would be no play, Mr. Merrick.
If he did not love her, why should there be a play? Looking in the mirror and seeing nothing. That is not love. It was an illusion. When the illusion ended, he had to kill himself.
Why, that is extraordinary.
Before I spoke with people, I did not think all of these things because there was no one to bother to think them for. Now, things just pop out of my mouth which are true.
John, you are famous. We are in the papers. Look, they published my report to the Pathological Society. Look, you're becoming quite a celebrity.
Frederick, I feel Mr. Merrick would benefit by even more company than you can provide. In fact, by being acquainted with the best, and they with him. I shall make it my task, if you permit. As you know, I'm a friend of nearly everyone, and I do pretty well as I please. And what pleases me is this task, I think.
By God, Mrs. Kendall, you are splendid.
Mr. Merrick, I must go now, but I should like to return if I may, so that we may without delay teach you about society. I would like to bring my friend Dorothy, Lady Neville. She would be most pleased to make your acquaintance. Let me tell her yes. Until then, I'm sure your church model will surprise us all. It has been a great pleasure to make your acquaintance, Mr. Merrick.
John, your hand. She wishes to shake your hand.
Thank you for coming.
No, thank you. It has been my pleasure.
What a wonderful success! Do you know, he's never shook a woman's hand before.
And the other day I was playing cricket in the Midway. It was one of the best games I ever played. It was the most
Your Grace.
How nicely the model is coming along, Mr. Merrick. I have come to say Happy Christmas, and that I hope you will enjoy this ring and remember your friend by it.
Your Grace, thank you.
I am better pleased to have made your acquaintance. Please accept these silver backed brushes that we have for Christmas, Mr. Merrick.
With many thanks, Countess.
I am very pleased to have made your acquaintance.
Here's the silver-toe walking stick, Merrick. Make you a regular Piccadilly exquisite. Keep up the good work. Self-help is best help. Example.
Oh, thank you, Lord John.
Very pleased to have made your acquaintance.
Her Royal Highness, Princess Alexandra.
The happiest of Christmases, Mr. Merrick.
Her Royal Highness has brought you a signed photograph of herself.
I am honored, Your Royal Highness. It is the treasure of my possessions. I have written His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales, to thank him for the pheasants and woodcock he sent.
You are a credit to Mr. Treves, Mr. Merrick. Mr. Treves, you are a credit to medicine, to England, and to all of Christendom. I'm so very pleased to have made your acquaintance.
Good news, John. Buddy says we may use the royal box whenever I like. Mrs. Keppel says it gives a unique perspective, and for Christmas, ivory-handled razor and a toothbrush.
And a cigarette case, my boy, full of cigarettes.
Oh, thank you very much.
Look, Freddie, look. The model of St. Philip's.
It is remarkable, I know.
And I do it with just one hand, they all say.
You are an artist, John Merrick. An artist.
I did not begin to build at first. not till I saw what St. Philip's really was. It is not stone and steel and glass. It is an imitation of grace, flying up and up from the mud. So I make my imitation of an imitation. But even in that is heaven to me, Mrs. Kendall.
That thought's got a good line, John. Plato believed this was all a world of illusions, and that artists made illusions of heaven.
You mean we are all just copies of originals?
That's it.
Who made the copies?
God, the demiurge.
He should have used both hands, shouldn't he?
Why all those toilets articles? Tell me, he is much too deformed to use any of them.
Well, props, of course, to make himself as I make me.
You? You think of yourself?
Well, he's gentle, almost feminine, cheerful, honest within limits, a serious artist. In his way, he is almost like me.
He is religious and devout. He knows salvation must radiate to us, or all is lost. Which it's certainly not.
He seems practical, like me. He's seen enough of daily evil to be thankful for the small goods that come his way. He knows what side his bread is buttered on, and counts his blessings for it. Like me.
I can speak with him of anything, for I know he is discreet, like me.
How odd! I find him curious, compassionate, concerned with the world. Well, rather like myself, Freddie Treves, AD 1889.
Of course, he is rather hurt and helpless not to show his struggling. And so am I.
He knows I use him to raise money for the London. He knows I would be derelict if I didn't. He's wary of any promise, yet he fits in well, like me.
I, as a seminarist, had many of the same doubts, struggled as he does, and hoped that they may be overcome.
When my husband, His Royal Highness, said, Prince of Wales, asked Dr. Treves to do his personal surgery, he said, dear friend, you can put up with that evidence, you could surely put up with me.
You see him out of fashion, Freddie, as he sees me. Social contacts critical. By the way, ignore the bloody papers. All lies.
Liverpool Street Station.
Merrick visibly worse than 86, 87. And as he rises higher in the constellations of society, he gets visibly more grotesque. It's proof definitive he is like me, like his condition, which I make no sense of. I make no sense of mine.
were such a scoundrel, how would I dare face investors like yourself? Broken contracts. I never considered them the actual contracts, just preliminary things to get the old deal underway. In actual contracts, something between gentlemen is attack on me. Well, it shows that they are no gentlemen. Now, I'm only here to say the company remains a terribly attractive proposition, don't you think? To recapitalize, if you can spare them. Oh, Mr. Gordon. Good to see you. Just remarking how splendidly Merrick thrives here, thanks to you and Frederick Boss.
Lord John, allow me. I must take Frederick from you. Keep him at work. It's in his contract. Wouldn't want him breaking it. Sort of thing makes the world fly apart, isn't it?
Yes, well, of course.
Sorry to hear you're so pressed. Expect we'll be seeing less of you around in London now?
Yes, well, overdue, actually. Appointment in the city. Freddie, Mr. Gordon.
He plain fooled me. It was kind to Merrick.
You've risen fast and easily, my boy. You forgot how to protect yourself. Break now.
It does not seem right somehow.
The man's a moral swab. Not clear yet. Is he attractive? Deceit often is. Friendly, swindlers can be. Another loan? Not another cent. Maybe your money, Freddie, will not tolerate laboring like a navvy, that the London should represent honest, compassionate, and charitable science, now titled swindlers bumping up the pitch. You succeed in destroying themselves so rapidly, you'll not doubt an instant it was his real aim all along. He broke the contracts, gambled the money away, lied, and like an infant in his mess, gurgles and wants to do it again. Never mind the details, don't want to know. Break it, be flat. Don't hesitate today. One man moral swap. Don't be sucked in.
Have you seen the papers?
Yes.
Yes, great pity. Ready? Today.
Ready?
He has used us. I shall be all right. Come. John, I won't be able to stay this visit. I must, well, unravel a few things. Nurse Ireland and Snork, are they
Friendly and respectable, Frederick.
I will look in a few days.
Did I do something wrong?
No.
This is a hospital, not a marketplace. Don't forget it, ever. I'm sorry. Not you. Me.
Well, shall we leave today? Don't you think weaving might be fun? So many things are fun. Most men really can't enjoy them. They're lost, isn't it? I like little activities, which engage me. There's something ancient in it. I don't know. Before all this, would you like to try, John?
Frederick said I may stay here for life, Mrs. Kendall.
And so you shall.
If he is in trouble,
Frederick is your protector, John.
he is in trouble.
Who is that? It's your mother, is it not? She's pretty, isn't she?
Will Frederick keep his word with me, Mrs. Kendall? His contract. If he is in trouble.
What contract did you say?
And will you?
I? What will I?
the prince has a mistress. That Irishman had one. Everyone seems to. Or a wife. Some have both. I have concluded I need a mistress. It is bad enough not to sleep like others.
Yes, sitting up, you mean. Couldn't be very restful.
I have too heavy to lay down my head. But to sleep alone, that is worst of all.
The artist expresses his love through his works. That is civilization.
Are you very shocked?
Why should I be?
Others would be.
I am not others.
I suppose it is hopeless.
Nothing is hopeless. Although it is unlikely.
I thought you might have a few ideas.
I can guess who has ideas here.
You don't know something. I have never even seen a naked woman.
Surely in all the fairs you've worked,
I mean a real woman.
is one more real than another?
I mean like the ones in the theater, the opera.
Surely you can't mean that they are more real.
In the audience, a woman not worn out early, not deformed by awful life. A lady, someone kept up, respectful of herself. You don't know what fairgrounds are like, Mrs. Kendall.
Someone like Princess Alexandra.
Oh, not so old, no.
Dorothy.
She does not look happy, no.
Lady Ellen.
Too thin.
Then who?
Certain women, they have a kind of ripeness. They seem to stop at the perfect point.
My dear, she doesn't exist.
That is probably why I never saw her.
What would your friend Bishop Howell say about all this, I wonder?
He says I should put these things out of my mind.
Is that the best that he can't suggest?
I put them out of my mind. Snap, they reappeared.
What about Frederick?
He would be appalled if I told him.
I am flattered. Too little trust has made my life. But that is another story.
What a rain. Are we going to read this afternoon?
Yes. Many women are lucky to look well. That is all. It's a rather arbitrary gift. It has no real good use. Though it has uses, I will say that. Anyway, it doesn't signify very much.
To me, it does.
Well, you are mistaken.
What are we going to read?
Trust is very important. You know, I trust you.
Thank you very much. I have a book of Thomas Hardy's here. He is a friend of Frederick. Shall we read that?
Turn around a moment. Don't look.
Is this a game?
I would not call it a game.
a surprise.
Oh, what kind of a surprise?
I saw pictures of you before I met you. You didn't know that, did you?
Well, the ones from the first time in '84? No, I didn't.
I felt that it was unjust. I don't know, I can't say my sense of justice is my most highly developed characteristic.
You may turn around now. A little funny, isn't it?
It is the most beautiful sight I have seen ever.
If you tell anyone, I shall not see you again. We shall not talk, we shall not read, we shall do nothing. Wait. No illusions now. What is there to say? I am extremely pleased to have made your acquaintances tonight.
John, I was talking to Mr. Garland. For God's sakes! What is going on? What is going on?
For a moment, Freddie. Paradise.
But have you no sense of decency? Woman, dress yourself quickly. Are you not ashamed? Do you know what you are? Don't you know what is forbidden? To ask your forgiveness.
I found a good home, Ross. I forgave you.
I was hoping we could work out a deal. Something new, maybe.
No.
See, I was counting on it. That you were kind-hearted. Like myself. Some things don't change. Gotta put your money on the things that do, and I'll figure. Figure from what I read about you, you ain't changed. Dukes and ladies coming to see you. I ask myself why. Figure it's the same as I always was. Makes them feel good about themselves by comparison. Them things don't change. They're but for the grace of it. So I figured, you're selling the same service as always. To better clientele. Difference is now you ain't charging for it.
You make me sound like a whore.
You are. I am. They are. Most are. No disgrace, John. Disgrace is to be a stupid whore. Give it for free. Not capitalize on the interest in it. Not to have a manager that is stupid.
You see this church? I am building it. The people who visit are friends, not clients. I am not a dog walking on its hind legs.
I was thinking, charge these people. Pleasure the Elephant Man's company. Something. Right spirit is everything. Do it in the right spirit, they pay happily. I'd take 10%. I'd be okay with 10%.
Bad luck's made you daft.
I helped you, John.
discovered you. Was that daft? No. Only daftness was being at a gold mine without a shovel, without proper connections, like Trees has. What's daft? Ross serves, Trees harvest. It isn't fair, is it, John? When you think about it. And I do think about it. Because I'm old. I've got something in me throat. You may have noticed. I've got something in me lung here too. Something in me belly, I guess, too. I ain't even half, am I? But I do okay with 10%. I don't need more than 10%. 10% would give me a future slightly better than a cobblestone. This lot would pay if you charged in the right spirit.
They're the cream, Ross. They know it. A man like you tries to make them pay, they'll walk away.
But I'm talking about doing it in the right spirit.
I'd lose everything for you. Ross, you lived your life. You robbed me. 48 pounds, 9 shillings, 2pence. You left me to die. Be satisfied, Ross. You've had enough. You kept me like an animal in darkness. You come back and want to rob me again? Will you not be satisfied? Now, I am a man like others. You want me to return?
You had a woman yet?
Is that what makes a man?
In my time it do for a start.
Not what makes this one. Yet, I am like others.
Then I'm condemned. I've got no energy to try nothing new. I may well go to the poorhouse straight. Die there anyways between filthy poorhouse rags. Nothing in me belly but acid. I don't like pain, John. The future gives pain sense. Without a future, 5%, John?
I'm sorry, Ross. It's just the way things are.
My God, then I am lost.
Frederick, do you believe in heaven? Hell? What about Christ? What about God? I believe in heaven. The Bible promises in heaven the crooked shall be made straight.
So did the rack, my boy. So do we all.
You don't believe?
At this point, I'll settle for a reliable general anesthetic. Actually, though, I had a patient once. A woman. Operated on her for a woman's thing. Used ether to anesthetize. Tricky stuff. She didn't come out of it. Pulse stopped. No vital signs. Absolutely moribund. Just a big white dead mackerel. 5 minutes later, she floated back into existence. Like a lost explorer with a great scoop of the undiscovered.
She saw heaven.
Well, I quote her. It was neither heavenly nor hellish. It was rather like perambulating in a London fog. People drifted by, but no one spoke. London, mind you. Hell's probably the provinces. She was shocked it wasn't more exotic, but allowed that had she stayed and got used to the familiar, so to speak, it did have hints of becoming a kind of bliss. She fled.
If you do not believe, why did you send Mrs. Kendall away?
Don't forget, it saved you once, my interference. You know well enough. It was not proper.
Well, how can you tell if you do not believe?
There are still standards we abide by.
They make us happy because they are for our own good.
Well, not always.
Oh.
Look, if you're angry, just say so.
Whose standards are they?
I'm not in the mood for this chipping away at the edges,
That
John.
do not always make us happy because they are not always for our own good.
Everyone's. Well, mine, everyone's.
That woman's, that Juliet,
Juliet.
who died, then came back.
Oh, I see. Yes, her standards too. So what?
Did you see her naked?
When I was operating on her, of course. Oh, what?
Is it okay to see them naked if you cut them up afterwards?
Good Lord! I'm a surgeon. That's a science.
She died. Mrs. Kendall didn't.
Well, she came back too.
And Mrs. Kendall didn't. If you mean that.
I am trying to read about anesthetics. There is simply no comparison. Look, that is different. The woman came to me to be, well, it is not love, you know.
Is that why you're looking for an anesthetic?
It would be a boon to surgery.
Because you don't love them?
Love's got nothing to do with surgery.
Do you lose many patients?
Some.
Oh.
Look, what does it matter? What does it matter if I love, or if any surgeon loves her, or any patient? What does it matter? And what conceivable difference to you?
Because it is your standards we abide by.
Look, if you are angry, just say so. I won't turn you out. Say it. I am angry. Go on. Say it. Say it!
I believe in heaven.
It is not all right. You cut them up. They undressed afterward. Make me sound like Jack the Ripper.
No, you worry about anesthetics.
Are you having me on?
You are merciful. I myself am proof. Is it not so? Well, is it not so?
Look, about Mrs. Kendall, perhaps I was wrong. These days that is, I seem to lose my head, taking too much on perhaps. I do not know what is in me these days.
Will she come back? Mrs. Kendall.
I won't talk to her.
But will she?
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
There are other things involved. And that is, other things.
Well, other things. I want to walk now. Think other things. Why won't she?
Because I don't want to hear when you die.
This is your promised land, the Dark John. I did everything to warn you, and still you let me down.
This is a hospital, not a marketplace. Fools make us happy because their poor are good. Consolation? Consolation for what?
This is your promised land, is it not, John?
You don't know a crowd staring at you, do you?
Do you believe in heaven?
Then there's something wrong with us.
If he is merely a mass of papier-mâché and paint, a swindler and a fake.
No, a genuine Dorset dreamer and a moral swamp. Look, he's so forgotten how to protect himself, he's gone to sleep.
Well, I must examine him. I would not keep him for long, Mr. Gum.
It would be an inconvenience, Mr. Merrick. He is a mainstay of our institution.
It is exactly that brought him to my attention. I am Merrick. Here is my card. I am with the mutations across the road.
Frederick, stand up! You must understand. He is very, very valuable. We've invested a great deal in him. He's the personal surgeon to the Prince of Wales.
I only wish to examine him. I had not, of course, dreamed of changing him.
But he's a gentleman and a good man.
Therefore exemplary for study. As a cruel or a deviant one would not be.
Oh, very well. Have him back at breakfast time, you feed him. Frederick, stand up! Up, you bloody donkey, up!
The most striking feature about him, note, is the terrifyingly normal head. This allowed him to lie down normally, and therefore to dream in the exclusive personal manner, without the weight of others' dreams accumulating to break his neck. From the brow, there projected a normal vision of benevolent enlightenment, what we believe to be a kind of self-mesmerized state. The mouth, deformed by satisfaction at being at the hub of the best of existent worlds, was rendered therefore utterly incapable of self-critical speech, thus of the ability to change. The heart shows signs of worry at this unchanging yet untenable state. The back was horribly stiff from being kept up against a wall to face the discontent of a world ordered for his convenience. The surgeon's hands were well developed and strong, capable of the most delicate carvings up for others' own good. Due also to the normal head, the right arm was of enormous power, but so incapable of the distinction between the assertion of authority and the charitable act of giving, that it was often to be found disgustingly beating others for their own good. The left arm was slighter and fairer, and may be seen in typical position, hand covering the genitals, which were treated as a sullen colony in constant need of restriction, governance, and punishment for their own good. To add a further burden to his trouble, the wretched man, when a boy, developed a disabling spiritual duality, and therefore was unable to feel what others feel, nor reach any sort of harmony with them. Please. And he would thus be denied all means of escape from those he had tormented.
Mr. Merrick, you have shown a profound and unknown disorder to us. You have said that when he leaves here, it is for his prior life again. I don't think it ought to be permitted. It's a pity and a disgrace. It's indecent, in fact. He could be dangerous to us in ways we do not know. Something ought to be done about it.
We hope in 20 years we will understand enough to put an end to this affliction.
20 years, sir, that is unacceptable.
Had we caught it early, it might have been different. But his condition has already spread both east and west. The truth is, I am afraid. We are dealing with an epidemic.
An epidemic? All over
Still beavering away for Christ, I see.
Yes.
Got your report. Doesn't know, does he?
The bishop?
I meant Merrick.
No.
I shall be sorry when he dies.
It will not be unexpected anyway.
It's brought the hospital quite a lot of good repute. Quite a lot in contributions, too. In fact, I like him. Never regretted letting him on. I didn't expect he'd last this long.
His heart won't sustain him much longer. It made him give up when he gets off his bloody knees with that bloody man.
What's wrong, Freddie? What's gone south for you?
It's just... It is the overlook of things. Quite inescapable that as he's achieved greater and greater normality, his condition has edged him closer to the grave. So, a parable of growing up, to become more normal is to die, more accepted to worsen. It's just a mockery of everything we live by.
Sorry, Freddie, didn't catch that one.
Nothing has gone sour. Do not know.
Cheer up, man. You are knighted. Your clients will be kings. Nothing succeeds, my boy, like success.
I find my sessions with him utterly moving. He struggles though. I suggested he might like to be confirmed. He leaped at it like a man lost in a desert.
He is very excited to do what others do. If he thinks it is what others do.
Do you cast doubt, sir? On his faith?
No, sir, I do not. It's just... He makes us think He's deeply like ourselves. And we are not like each other. I conclude that we have polished him like a mirror and shout hallelujah whenever he reflects us to the inch. I have grown sorry for it.
I cannot make out what you are saying. Is something troubling you, Mr. Trees?
Corsets! How about corsets? Here is a pamphlet I've written due mainly to the grotesque ailments I've seen caused by corsets. Fashion overrules me, of course. My patients do not unstrap themselves of corsets. Some cannot. You know, I have so little time in the week. I spend Sundays in the poll wards to keep up with work. Work being 20-year-old women who look an abused 50 with one-outedness. Young men with appalling industrial conditions. I turn out as soon as possible to return to the labors. Happily, most of my patients are not poor. They are middle class. They overeat and drink so grossly. They destroy nature in themselves and all around them so fervently. It will not last. I counsel against it where I can. I am ignored, of course. Then what, sir, could be troubling me? I am a successful Englishman who lives in a respected and successful England, which informs me daily by the way it lives that it wants to die. I am in despair. Science, observation, deduction, reason having led me to these conclusions no longer serve as consolation. I apparently see things others don't.
I do wish to understand you better, sir. But as for consolation, there is a Christ Church consolation.
I do not think we are born for mere consolation.
But look at Mr. Merrick's happy example.
Oh, yes. You'd like my garden, too. My dog, my wife, my daughter. All pruned, cropped, pollard, and somewhat stupefied. Very happy examples, all of them. Well, is it finally all we know how to do with it? Whatever! Nature? Is it Roberts? No, not nature, really. Ourselves, really. Myself, really. Rob, that is. You do see, of course. Can't really figure out what to do with them. Can we?
It is not exactly clear, sir.
I am a very good gardener. Is that clear? I take such good care of anything. Anything. You. We are convinced. Are you not convinced? Him, I mean. Is he not very dangerously human? How can he be? After all we've given him. I do mean taken. When I say given, as in what we've given him. But you knew that, I'll bet. Because
Do you mean charity? I cannot make up what you are saying.
It is finished.
say that. Maybe you'd like a walk after lunch. April's doing wonders for the gardens. My mate Will, his sister died yesterday. 28 she was. Imagine that. Wife was sick, his sister nursed her. Was a real bloom, that girl. Now wife okay, sister just ups and dies. It's also... what's that word? Forgot it. It means Chauncey. Well, forgot it. Chauncey'll do. Have a good lunch.
Chauncey?
We are the queens of the cosmos, beautiful darkness empire. Darkness, darkness, light's true flower. Here is eternity's finest hour. Sleep like others you learn to admire. Be like your mother. Be like your sire.
Oh, remember it, Mr. Mayor. I remember the word is arbitrary. Arbitrary. It's also hey, the other man is dead. Hey, the other man is dead.
Sir, in November 1886, you were kind enough to insert in the Times a letter from me drawing attention to the case of Joseph Merrick. John Merrick. Well, known as the Elephant Man, it was one of singular and exceptional misfortune, etc., etc. With great difficulty, he somehow succeeded in getting to the door of London, where through the kindness of one of our surgeons, he was sheltered for a time. And then, I wrote to you, and from that point all difficulty vanished. The sympathy of many of us was aroused, and although no other fitting refuge was offered, a sufficient sum was placed at my disposal to maintain what did not promise to be a prolonged life.
I forgot. The coroner said it was death by asphyxiation. The weight of the head crushed the windpipe.
Well, I go on here to say about how he spent his time here, how it all tried to alleviate his suffering, how he was visited by the highest in the land, etc., etc. And, quote, in spite of all of this indulgence, he was quiet and unassuming, grateful for all that had been done for him, and readily conformed to the restrictions which were necessary. Will that do so far, do you think?
Should think it would.
Wouldn't have anything else, would you?
Well, he was highly intelligent, he had an acute sensibility, and worse for him, a romantic imagination. No, never mind. I'm not really certain of any of it.
Last Friday afternoon, although apparently in his usual health, he quietly passed away in his sleep. I have left in my hands a small balance, and this I now propose to turn over to the general funds of the hospital. It was the courtesy of the Times in 1886 that procured for this afflicted man a comfortable protection during the last years of a previously wretched existence, and I desire to take this time to thankfully acknowledging it. I serve your obedient servant, F.C. Carr. House Committee Room, London Hospital, 15 April 1890.
I did think of one small thing.
It's too late, I'm afraid. It is done.